This video is brought to you by ncix.com. Great technology, selection, and service.
Acer has been raising the bar lately with a full lineup of high-end monitors that target the gaming market. One of their most recent additions has become the most recognized monitors in the industry, the Predator X34. It's big, expensive, and it's supposed to offer huge benefits to gamers who want smooth motion while still retaining amazing image quality. So without any further ado, let's check this thing out. Priced a little over $1,000, the X34 is seriously targeted towards those enthusiasts who still desire the best of the best. Paying that much will get you a 34-inch curved IPS display with a resolution of 3440 by 1440, a gray-to-gray response time of 4 milliseconds, great color depth, and a base refresh rate of 60 Hz that can be overclocked to 100 Hz via the OSD. The cherry on top is the addition of NVIDIA's G-SYNC module. With the Predator, gamers won't have to choose between a lightning-fast refresh rate and image quality any longer. But before we get into more specifics, just look at that display. I have to admit, Acer stole my attention with the X34's design. The edge-to-edge panel, along with Acer's excellent matte finish, cuts down the reflections pretty well and makes images look absolutely stunning. The chrome stand is a great centerpiece for your desk, plus it's just as attractive as attention-grabbing as the Predator X34 itself. The backside of the panel comes with a glossy plastic finish that I'm not a fan of, as it attracts to a lot of fingerprints, but I'm not too concerned about that since it would be facing the wall for the majority of the time. Do note that this panel lacks swivel abilities, which makes sense considering the curvature of the screen, but on the positive side, it does offer 130mm of height adjustment and a whopping 40 degrees of tilt from -5 degrees to 35 degrees. The X34 makes use of a gentle curve and it looks great, especially when gaming. It is built to enhance immersion, and it does exactly that by almost surrounding your vision with one continuous image. However, in certain games, the curve can add visual artifacts to menus and distort key elements of a game interface. The built-in LED underneath the panel is a fantastic addition, and it can be customized to different colors, and I will guarantee you that it will look awesome with your setup, and it also adds a bit of backlight compensation to reduce eye strain. For anyone that finds the LEDs distracting, they can be turned off in the OSD. The I/O selection on the X34 is limited since G-Sync can only be driven via DisplayPort, but you'll also find an HDMI input, audio out, a USB 3.0 upstream port, and 4 USB 3.0 downstream ports. You'll find a lot of physical buttons for navigating the on-screen display, and while testing, they weren't as responsive as what's offered on other monitors we've seen, but it gets the job done. When you press the menu button, you are not greeted with the full OSD, but instead a small shortcut menu compiling of quick access features like 3 game modes that can be programmed to your preference. There's also an adjustable overdrive that pushes more voltage through the liquid crystal, forcing them to change from one state to another faster for high refresh rates. Volume adjust, input selection, and the option to enter the advanced setup. Acer also greets you with the picture tab that lets you switch between different profiles, adjust brightness, contrast, blue light, dark boost, and adaptive contrast. The color tab lets you change the gamma, color temperature, saturation, and 6-axis color, the language, OSD timeout, refresh rate display, transparency, and game mode that can be set through the OSD tab. Moving on to the settings tab, this is where the magic happens. The user can switch between inputs, turn on DTS for built-in speakers, change the ambient light underneath the panel to different colors, adjust the wide mode, and the best part is overclocking the panel to 100 Hz. As I mentioned earlier, you can only use this via DisplayPort since HDMI port here is only limited to 60 Hz. Now on to testing. The picture uniformity is not that bad actually. In fact, it's above average. Most of the variance is due to the panel's curvature, and creating the same level of brightness throughout the display is difficult, so it's nothing to be worried about. Gaming on the X34 was such an awesome experience. I have to admit, the curved panel along with G-Sync and the option to push this beast to 100 Hz contributes to bring the level of immersion to the next level. But do note that driving all these pixels at that refresh rate requires a high-end GPU somewhere along the lines of 980 or above. G-Sync itself is a revelation for these larger monitors since it gives a sense of motion fluidity even at lower frame rates. It also eliminates the judder and tearing normally associated with situations where V-Sync is turned on and off respectively. More importantly, it grants the ability to utilize a slightly lower powered GPU without any drastic negative effects to the overall gaming experience. While as fast as refresh rate, the curved panel and G-Sync certainly helps immerse you in games. Less expensive panels can accomplish the same thing, however, where the X34 takes things to the next level is the inclusion of an IPS panel. With it, the Predator is able to display extremely accurate colors, reproduce a stunning detailed image, and offer a contrast ratio that puts those lower priced TN-based alternatives to shame. Yes, you'll pay for it, but the difference really does need to be seen and to be believed. Now, is there anything wrong with the Predator X34? Well, I could complain about its price, but gamers with the necessary funds have been more than happy to pay the cost of entry. Acer hasn't made this a plug-and-play solution either, since getting the full 100Hz requires jumping through a few OSD menus and overclocking the screen. Other than that, it's really hard finding issues with what Acer is offering here. And that's basically the story behind the Predator X34. This was my first time reviewing a monitor of this caliber, and throughout my testing, I was so impressed with the gorgeous design, the curved 34-inch display, and the exceptional gaming experience you get. This is totally worth the price you pay for, and it deserves the Hardware Canucks Damn Good Award. So what are your thoughts on the Acer Predator X34? Would you consider this a solid upgrade to your current setup? Let us know in the comments down below. I'm Eber with Hardware Canucks. Don't forget to subscribe for more similar content, and we'll see you in the next one.